Hello and welcome and thanks for watching. Diana, a viewer, saw another of my videos and left a message asking if I had a tutorial for a newborn hat, which I didn't, but I thought it was a rather good idea. So I've made this tiny but so cute little hat for a newborn. It's made with a double knit weight 3 yarn and a 3.5mm needle, and I'll also give you details of how to make this for a premature baby as well. All the details of measurements and materials needed are in the description box below. The last thing to mention is that I couldn't sleep tonight, so rather than lie in my bed and toss and turn, I thought, oh, I'll just get up and make a hat. So it's now about coming up for 3 o'clock in the morning. So if I'm not making sense completely throughout, do please forgive me. So this is all back to front because I filmed myself making this hat and now I've filmed myself telling you about it, if you see what I mean. Right, let's get on. Right, to begin, make a slip knot however you like to make it, but do it so that the tail of the yarn tightens the knot and the working yarn loosens it. And then chain 3 and into the third chain from the hook, the first chain we made, make 9 double crochets. There is 9. To join in the round, ignore the starting chain, go to the top of the first stitch and pop your hook under the V, and then yarn over, slip through and slip through, and to close that wee gap, just get hold of your tail and pull. There. Now round 2, chain 2 and into the first stitch at the bottom of the starting chain, make 2 double crochets. Just like that, and then in every stitch round we're going to repeat that and make 2 double crochets into every stitch. So at the end we shall have 18 stitches. So I shall meet you towards the end of this round. Now, coming up to the end of the round, where the starting chain meets the body of work, that doesn't count as a stitch. So we've got 1 stitch left, and we'll make our 2 double crochets in there. And then we'll have 18 stitches. Ignore the starting chain, go to the top of the first stitch, pop your hook under the V at the top, yarn over, slip through and slip through to join. Now for round 3, chain 2 and into the first stitch at the bottom of the chain, starting chain, make 2 double crochets. make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and that's the repeat for the round. You make 2 double crochets in one stitch, 1 double crochet in the next. So that's 2 double crochets in one stitch and 1 double crochet into the next. So keep working like that, and I'll meet you towards the end of this round. Coming up to the end of the round, you'll remember that where the starting chain joins the body of our work, that doesn't count as a stitch. We've got 1 stitch left, and I'm going to make 2 double crochets into it, having worked 1 double crochet into the previous. And at the end of round 3, you're going to have 26 stitches. And then join in the round, ignore the starting chain, top of the first stitch, slip your hook under the V, yarn over, slip through. And that's us done 3 rounds. For round 4, chain 2 and into the first stitch at the bottom of our starting chain, make 2 double crochets. And then make 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And that's the repeat for this round. You're working 2, 1, 1. So 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So repeat that sequence all the way round, and I'll meet you towards the end of this round. Coming up to the end of the round, you know this by now, but where the starting chain joins the body of work doesn't count as a stitch. So we've got 1 stitch left, just made 2 double crochets in that stitch and 1 double crochet in this last one. And then we've got 35 stitches, and we join as ever with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch of the round. And there we are. Now, believe it or believe it not, this tiny, tiny little circle is the size for a premature baby. So it's just about roughly 8.5 centimetres or 3.5, just coming up to 3.5 inches. If you're making this for a newborn baby, you would add another round. So for premature babies, stop after the 4 rounds. For newborn babies, work another round, but this time we're just going to work half double crochets. So chain 1 and work 2 half double crochets into the first stitch, and then work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 3, oops, if I do that right, 1 half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And that's the repeat for this round. 2 half double crochets into 1 stitch, then 1 half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So it's 2, 1, 1, 1. So working that sequence, and as ever I'll meet you towards the end of the round. Coming up to the end of the round, you know that that doesn't count as a stitch where the starting chain is. 2 stitches left. I've just made 2 half double crochets there, and now 1 double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches. And at the end of round 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, we've got 44 stitches. So join with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch in the round, and then you can get your ruler or a measuring tape and just check, and it will then measure just short of 4 inches and just short of 10 centimetres, and that's the size of the crown of the hat. So now we are going to work with no more increases now. We're just going to make the sides of the hat. So if you were making the preemie, you would just start working this pattern, this set of stitches from now on, from the 4th round. And if you're working for the newborn, you do the 5th round in the half doubles like I showed you. For the sides of the hat, you're going to repeat this next round. So you chain 1, make a half double crochet into that first stitch, and then make a double crochet into that same stitch. Then skip the next stitch and into the following repeat. Make a half double and a double. Oops. Skip the next stitch into the following. Again, work a half double and a double. Skip the next stitch into the following, work a half double and a double. Right, I shall meet you towards the end of this round. Coming up to the end of the round, you've just made the little mini cluster. Skip a stitch into the next one, work a half double and a double, skip the last stitch and then join with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch in the round. There. Now chain 1, and what we're going to do is we're going to work into this gap in here. So make a half double and a double. Then into the next gap in between the 2 mini clusters, work a half double. Oops, what am I doing? There we are, a half double and a double. Let me just get a wee bit more yarn. Now, I'm sure you've got the idea. So you're going to work in here, in between. Okay, and we're going to work a half double and then a double. And that is going to be your repeat. Right, I have done 7 rounds of the little pattern stitch there. Now, to measure for the newborn size, I hope you can see that, it is just short of 11 centimetres, and compensating for the 5th row that we did for the newborn size that you wouldn't do for the preemie size, it would be 10 centimetres if it was the preemie size. For our final row, for our edge, all we're going to do is make a single crochet, no chain, into that stitch where we've just slip stitched to join, and then putting our hook just into the, you see there's 2 bars going down the way, and we're just going to put our hook into the left hand side one. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're just going to double crochet into every stitch around. Don't do it tight. I want it to have given it. I don't want it tight on baby's head. So double crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you towards the end of this, our final round. So final stitch there. Now to finish off, let me just get my scissors and snip off and pull the yarn through. Now get a blunt-ended needle. Actually, if you've got a way that you like to finish off in the round, do it. This is just how I like to do it. So here we've got the top of the first stitch, and here we've got the top of the second. So from the back to the front, or the front anyway, whatever way, from me, heading away from me, I put the needle under both loops of the V and pull through, and then give it a wee pull and shugle, and then into the last stitch of the round, into this back loop, or the loop furthest from me, I insert my needle and pull through, and then I pull through and shugle and what have you a wee bit more, until I'm happy that I've got a nice neat ending. And then I sew in my end. Making sure I'm still happy, yes, with how it looks. So we'll finish sewing it in. I'll do it. Right, so here we are, done and dusted. It looks ever so cute, and the finished measurement would be for the newborn. Let me just get this in place. It's about 11.5 centimetres, and if we compensate for that 5th row that we do for the newborn but not the preemie size, it would be about 11 centimetres. And obviously they stretch, these wee hats. So there we go. I hope you have a go at making one, and I hope it turns out really well for you. Bye bye just now.